Learning outcomes. At the end of this module, the student can be able to, number 1, discover the costs and other hidden charges associated with investments. Number 2, understand funds' historical performance and its risk. Number 3, recognize the fund manager and fund family expertise. And lastly, for the number 4, understand mutual fund prospectus, annual reports, and statement of additional information. Evaluating gain-eating costs. Fees are deducted from your investment returns. You can and sa totoo lang, you should examine a fund expenses and fees before you buy into it. So, sinasabi lang naman dito na we should also take into consideration yung mga fees na babayaran natin kapag ka nag-invest tayo. At sa totoo lang, when I googled kung ano na nga ba talaga itong mga fees na to, I was actually astonished on how many they were. Of course, depende pa din naman talaga ito kung saan ka nag-invest or anong klaseng investment yung kinuha mo, dahil some have less, some have more, but still, at the end of the day, imbis na kung ano pa dapat yung magiging gain mo or yung magiging return mo with the wrong investments na may matataas na fee rates, mababawasan pa yung return mo. Anyway, just to give you guys some examples of the fees, kung ano-ano nga ba talaga to, we have the broker fees, the trading fees, expense ratios, investment management or the so-called advisory fee, the transaction fee, the load fee, surrender charges, commission, account fee, custodian fee, and the list goes on and on. Kaya remember, before going in an investment, make sure to evaluate not just yung return ng investment mo, but also kung gaano ba talaga kataas ang rates na kaakibat nito. Losing the load, say no to commissions. So before starting with this topic, let's first establish na load means commission. As the title said, losing the load means losing the commission or saying no to commissions. When the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the Regulated Brokers Commission in 1975, the vast majority, actually more than 85% of all mutual funds were sold through brokers. The funds they sold are known as load funds. When you purchase a fund through a broker, the broker is paid a commission, typically ranging from 4% to 8.5% out of the amount that you invested. So let's say you invested $200. $8 to $17 of what you invested will go to brokers. So what more if you put thousands of dollars in these investments? Ang laki ng kain ng mga brokers. Today, no-load funds account for the majority of investors' mutual fund holdings. Loads deducted from your investment money are an additional and unnecessary cost when you're in the market for the best mutual funds. The best no-load funds are every bit as good, if not actually better than the best load funds. This means that if we were to compare the best load funds versus the no-load funds, so walang commission na funds versus my commission, walang broker versus my broker, it shows that no-load funds actually stands good, if not already better. So remember, buying no-load funds boosts your returns by minimizing the expenses. For my last topic, we have considering a fund's operating expenses. So one of the expenses that you cannot avoid when owning a fund is the operating expense. Kahit na mapaload or no-load pa yan. Every mutual fund must charge fees to pay for the operational cost of running the fund, such as paying for the fund manager, yung mga research assistants, buying equipments para matrack lahat ng mga investment and customer account balances, and so on and so forth. Now, although all funds must charge operating expenses, some funds charge more than others. Expenses matter on all types of funds. So for example, expenses are critical on money market mutual funds, and they are very important on bond funds because those kinds of investments are on the safer side. So what does it mean when an investment is on the safer side? Well, it simply means that mababa ang magiging return mo dito. Kasi nga, 'di ba, the lower the risk, the lower the return. So kung mababa na nga yung return, paano pa kaya kung magbabayad ka pa ng mataas na operational fee? Magkano na lang kaya makukuha mo dito? Kaya diving into this kind of investment, we have to consider kung gaano ba muna kalaki yung operational fee niya. Moving on naman sa riskier side ng investment, we have the stock funds. So, expenses here are less important. So, hindi ganun ka-importante in comparison sa money market. But this does not mean na hindi na siya importante. Kahit nasabihin pa natin na mataas ang ROI niya. Looking into the rate on the operational fees with this kind of investment is still an important factor that is worth considering. Dahil at the end of the day, mababawas pa din naman yung fee na yun sa'yo. So remember, by picking the right funds, you can minimize the operating expenses you pay. Because the higher the expenses you pay, the lower the return you get.
Pleasant day to everyone. This is Eric Joshua Ofalsa and I'll be reporting the weighing, performance, and risk. So, about naman dito, lagi naman din nating natatakal na to since our first year. So, it just, yung topic ko, it talks about how we should analyze and how we should measure yung risk na ginagawa natin every time that we do investment in different aspect like in mutual funds, whether it is money market or other form of investment pa. Sinasabi rin dito na kapag magi-invest tayo, hindi lang dapat tayo like basta-basta pipili ng, halimbawa sa stock market, okay, mag-invest ako sa ganitong company. So, hindi pwedeng ganun lang yung magiging decision making mo. Kasi, maraming basis dapat whenever we are going to invest. Like, dapat may ratio analysis kang ginagawa. Dapat may ginagawa ka ring like other form of analysis in terms of finance. So, ayun, basically dun umiikot tong report kong ito. So, dito naman sa second slide ko, di ba, nakalagay nga dito, realize that funds with relatively high returns may achieve their results by taking on a lot of risk. Those same funds often take that the hardest fall during major market declines. So, sinasabi dito na yung quotation na higher risk, high reward. So, high risk, high reward, sorry. So, ibig sabihin nun, kung mag-i-invest ka doon sa mga form of investment sa market na may mataas na rate, like mataas yung interest rate niya, mataas yung return niya, so expect mo rin dapat na yung downfall niyan in market is mataas din. Kumbaga, 'di ba nga meron tayong category before na moderate, conservative, moderate, and aggressive. So, if you're an aggressive investor, so syempre, yung risk tolerance mo is napakataas na. That's why, despite of knowing a lot of risk na kumbaga nakadikit doon sa investment mo is ipupush mo pa rin siya. Pero dapat yun nga, dapat lagi nating alam na mas mataas yung return, mas mataas yung risk niya. And dito naman sa may last part ng report ko, which is nakalagay is recognizing the fund manager and fund family expertise. Dito nakalagay is dapat alam natin kung sino yung pinipili nating backer or anong company yung pinipili nating hahawak ng pera natin sa investment natin. Like for example, 'di ba nga pag yung mga bangko, kukuha tayo ng loan sa kanila, meron silang tinatawag na 5C, 'di ba? So dapat tayo rin as an investor, dapat tayo gumagawa rin tayo ng analysis sa mga iba't ibang company. Kung tawag dito, parang dapat alam natin yung history nila. Ganon, na kumbaga mataas ba yung success rate nila sa mga hinahandle nilang investors, ganyan. Wala ba silang history of fraud, ganyan. And sinasabi rin dito na yung iba't ibang company sa market. Kumbaga, lahat ng company na pwede sa'yo mag-offer ng financial analyst, financial advisor, meron silang different forte. Like, merong gantong halimbawa, si company ABC, kaya niya mag-offer ng magagaling na financial analyst in terms of stock market. Halimbawa, yung isa naman, si company XYZ, kaya naman niya mag-offer ng gantong financial analyst sa money market. Ganyan. Or di naman kaya sa bonds. So, yun, dapat alam din natin kung ano yung expertise nila or kung ano yung forte ng mga company na pipiliin natin. Lastly, parang nakalagay dito is reminders, ganyan. So, nakalagay dito, avoid fund companies with little mutual fund management experience and success. So, nabanggit ko na siya kanina. So, ibig sabihin, huwag kang pipili ng mga company na parang kaka-start pa lang or di naman kaya siguro mababa yung success rate nila nga as company na nag-offer ng financial analysis or financial analyst or financial advisors. Ganyan. And lastly, ang pinaka-highlight nito, medyo mahaba siya pero ang highlight lang nito is avoid novelty funds as well. So, ibig sabihin nun guys, wag kang mag-i-invest sa mga investment na parang, uy, ang taas naman ng return nito. Halimbawa, magugulat ka sa stock market, ang return niya is 6% interest rate. So, imagine, tapos kaka-start lang niya. Like, literally, pag search mo, wala pa siyang history, ganyan. Tapos, yun agad yung in-offer nila. So, pag ganun, be careful na lang rin kasi hindi ka sigurado kung ano yung nag-aantay sa yung risk behind that form of investment. So, dapat maging aware tayo palagi na yung mga ganong klaseng fund may lead us into like scam, frauds, ganyan. So, mamaya, syempre, mapapasama pa yung investment mo. So, syempre, kailangan maging maingat ka. So, to conclude my report na is, ayun nga, first of all, dapat alam natin na behind every investment, there is a risk. Okay, whether you are a conservative, moderate, or aggressive investor, laging may risk na nakaakibat sa lahat ng investment na gagawin mo. Second, matuto tayong pumili ng company na pagkakatiwalaan natin ng pera natin or ng investment natin. Pangatlo naman, dapat matuto rin tayong pumili syempre nung fund or I mean nung investment, certain investment na pag-investan nga natin para hindi rin tayo mag-lead into market declines or di naman kaya is scam. So, ayun lang naman guys, and thank you so much for listening.
Good day everyone, my name is Yerson H. Pakrim and I am reporting about the reading prospectus. The reading prospectus, the parts of it conclude the cover of page, the fund profile, and the other fund information. So first, let's talk about what is prospectus. In investing, a prospectus is a legal document that describes an investment security to the potential investors. A prospectus contains a fact about the company or the fund issuing the security. So, sabi, ang reading prospectus concluded the details on its finances, management, history, and other information that could help investors make an informed decision. Reading prospectus also concluded the background of the company and its current financial situations and the principles. At kung ilang tao or shares are being issued. Also, the type of security being issued, it can be stocks, bond, or fund. Also concluded also the name of the institution underwriting the offering if there is one. Also the informations about dividend. By law, sabi, every mutual fund prospectus must concluded or included information regarding the risk involved in the investing in the fund. The fund will illustrate the nature of the risk or assumed by investing, both the magnitude and the provenance of that risk. So, the part of prospectus, let's go to the cover page. The cover page concluded the date and the table of contents. So, cover page, alam naman natin kung ano yung mga nakita dito. First is the date the date, alam nyo naman kung ano yung petsa, included to know kung recent ba yung information na need. So, para in case na pag kinangailangan natin, mabilis natin siya hanapin. Sa table of contents, dito para mabilis natin makita kung anong hinahanap natin, we will go to the table of contents. It helps to navigate the prospectus to find whatever information you want. So the next one is the fund profile. So fund profile. Fund profile consists of the following. Fund profile pages contain a synopsis of the main attributes of the fund, such as description of the fund's investment, objectives, and the strategies that it employs to accomplish its objective. So, sa fund profile, dito natin makita kung ano-ano nga ba ang nilalaman, yung strategies na gustong ipahatid sa atin ni fund manager or the financial advisor upang makatulong or to help us to invest in good and yung trust natin is hindi mapako. So, in here also, we can find here a list of the main risks that come with investing in this company. So, sa panahon ngayon, merong mga risks and strategies na binibigay yung financial advisor to help us in investing in this fund. So, dito natin makikita yon sa fund profile. Also, on the next page, or the second page of the fund profile section, you can find also all the funds, especially those which invest in stocks and bond. So, dito natin makikita kung umaangat ba or bumababa yung ini-invest natin sa company. That's all. So, the last one is the other fund information. In reading prospectus, the other fund information is very important because dito natin makita or we can find the fund's abbreviated name as it appears in newspapers, listing of the daily fund prices, the number assigned to the fund and its parent company, and the fund trading or ticketer symbol. So, sa other fund information natin makita if suitable ba or maganda ba yung company na gusto natin pag-investan. So, kaya nagkakaroon ng reading prospectus to help us understand or to help us what company are suitable for our investment. So, in other fund information, it is the next section of the prospectus which present with a hodgepodge of facts about the fund. Some which may be important to you kasi makakatulong to help makakatulong siya sa pag-i-invest at kung tama ba yung or kumikita ba o hindi yung company or yung business na pinag-investan natin. So that's all for my report. The next reporter will talk about the investment, objectives, and risk. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ella Paraiso, and I'm the next reporter, and I'm gonna tackle the investment objective and risk, and also investment advisors. So before we begin to my discussion, let's know first on how we find our investment objective. Before you begin to build a portfolio, you start by asking a few questions. What is the purpose of your money? What do you want it to do? How much time do you have until you will need this money? How much risk are you willing to take to see returns are above average? Do you want your money to grow? So now I will discuss the meaning of investment objective. Investment objective. An investment objective is the role that an investment or several investments plays to help you reach your financial goals. Once you know your objective, it can guide you towards certain asset classes or securities. This helps you build a portfolio that will reach your goals. So, as an investor, you must have a specific goal in mind. These are investment objectives that help you determine what types of investment to make and help you prepare what lies ahead. Investments are categorized in three primary objectives, which is safety, growth, and income, along with secondary objectives. Therefore, before you begin to invest, it is essential to understand the investment and its goal to pick the right mix and make informed investment that best suits your needs. Let's Take a look at the different objective investment. There are two types of investment objective: the primary and the secondary objective. Let's discuss first the primary objective. Number 1, safety. Everyone wishes to keep their money safe and secure. So, if you are a conservative investor who desire to get their initial capital investment at maturity on time and without losses, the safety objective is essential to you. Although, you must know that no investment is entirely safe or risk-free. But if your primary objective is safety, you can make investments that come with a low or reduced risk. Some of example of safe investment objective are government bonds, bank securities, or money market instruments. Number 2, capital gain. Capital gain or capital appreciation is when you wish to grow your health. One can achieve capital gains through conservative growth, aggressive growth, and speculation. While safety is crucial, many people majorly invest money for it to grow. So, let's now tackle the conservative growth. Conservative growth is when investors build an investment portfolio that will generate wealth over time. And the second one is aggressive growth. Aggressive growth is when investors make a bold investment in stocks to make short and long-term gains. Third one, speculation. Speculation is when investors try to maximize return by trading shares and security through the speculation of shares price. Number 3, income. Income, investing to generate a source of income for yourself. So this income comes in the form of dividends, interest, or yields. These investment objectives come with a high level of risk and low stability, but the returns are also higher. Conservative investors tend to include income objectives in their portfolio due to their attractive returns and ability to keep up with the inflation. An example of an income investment object is the stock market. It comes with a high risk and high returns. So let's now go to the secondary objective. Number 1, liquidity. Liquidity is the ability to instantly trade or sell off, convert asset into cash with the easy in the market and with minimal risk of loss. So most of investors generally prefer investing in securities that are easier to liquidate and use during emergencies. Number 2, tax savings. Before choosing to invest, it is the best to research and find out all the tax consideration and exemption available to you to minimize your tax burden. The goal of this objective is not to choose a single objective, but to maintain a good balance between them all. Your objectives of investment depend upon several factors such as investment goals, lifestyle, age, financial security, risk appetite, and return you desire. Any investment, especially those with a higher risk, will see some ups and downs. As an investor, you must brace your volatility and market fluctuation and not let your emotion affect your investment of decision. So let's now proceed to investment risk. What is the meaning of investment risk? Let's now proceed to investment risk. What is the meaning of investment risk? Investment risk is defined as the probability of uncertainty of losses. rather than expected profit from investment due to fall in the pair price of securities such as bonds, stock, real estate, and etc. Investment advisor. An investment advisor is a firm or person that for compensation engage in the business of providing investment advice to others about the value of or about investing in securities, stock, bonds, mutual fund, exchange traded funds, and certain other investment products, and or and issuing reports or analysis regarding securities as part of regular business. Investment advisor typically provide ongoing advice about buying, selling, or holding investment, and it will monitor the performance of your investment and their alignment with your overall investment objectives. As an advisor, it is someone who gives about advice about something. In this case, the advisor is giving advice about money matters. They may tell you about market trends on how to allocate your asset. They may also offer financial planning services. The fee for this advice is usually based on the value of all the assets in your account with the advisor. You can pay or other fees and costs related to servicing your account. And that's for all of my report. Thank you.
My name is Kylo Policarpo and I am the next reporter. So let's now move on to the net asset value. The net asset value is the price per share of the fund. Net asset value is the value of an investment fund assets minus its liability. When we say net asset value, it is the company's total asset minus its liability. So meaning to say, ito na yung assets na pagmamayari ng company minus its liability or yung mga utang or yung mga need bayaran. Either it is short-term liabilities or long-term liabilities. And when we say net asset value, dito na natin kinukuha yung mga dividends ng mga shareholders natin, which is sila yung mga nag-invest dun sa company. And net asset value is calculated at the end of the each trading, meaning to say, each trading, kumbaga dun sa may trading process or yung may act na buying and selling ng company nyo. So next naman natin is yung total return. Total return represents what investors in the fund have earned historically and the returns on these types of fund which invest in stock and bonds bounce around from year to year. So when we say total return rates that investor receives such as interest, capital, and dividends. And syempre, sa total return din natin malalaman kung magkano ba yung na-earn natin. Kumbaga dun sa na-earn natin ay yung bumalik sa atin. Magkano yung kinita ng mga products, sa mga goods na inilabas or ibinenta natin. Then kung magkano yung naging cost nun, syempre minus nyo yung total cost or expense dun sa net income. So ayun yung magiging total return. So lalabas dun kung magkano ba yung na-earn natin to that transaction or sa pagbebenta ng mga products and goods. So next naman is the ratio of total expense to average net assets. This section of a prospectus also shows you how fund annual operating expenses have changed over time. They should decrease when a fund is growing. This fund expenses ratio of 0.36% in 2022 decreased to 0.30% for 4 years later. For funds that are only few years old, expenses may remain higher because the fund is building its base of investors. A fund expenses ratio equals the fund's total operating expense divided by the average of the value of the fund net assets. So meaning to say, minimeasure dito kung mamimit ba ng net assets yung mga expenses niya. And in the simplest way, the higher the fund, the lower the expenses. Meaning to say, na-maximize nila yung paggamit ng fund nila dun sa mga paggamit ng expenses nila. And yung dun pa sa expenses, change of your expenses every day, month, quarterly, or annually. Depende dun sa mga expenses. So let's move on to the next ratio, the ratio of net investment income to average net assets. It shows the annual dividends or yield that fund has paid. This figure is especially important for retired people who needed income to live on. In this example, the downward trend barely reflects the overall decline in interest rates during the period. If you look at this ratio for the similar fund, you'd see the same trend for this period. The fund incomes ratio reveals the percentage of current income earned per share. So, meaning to say, yung income na na-receive from asset investment before i-apply yung mga tax or bayaran yung mga short and long-term liabilities natin. So, dito siya nagbe-base nun. And syempre, ang pinaka-nagbe-benefit dito is yung mga investors, mga shareholders na nag-invest sa companies natin. Dahil dito naka-base, so makukuha ng dividend depende sa trend ng annual dividends. And also, isa din sa mga nag-benefit dito is yung mga tao na mga empleyado or mga employees na malapit na mag-retire. Kasi the more na mas patagal ka sa company na nag-stay ka is the more na mas mataas yung dividend na makukuha mo. Kasi minsan may tinatawag tayo na pension. So yung nagsusustain ng mga sustain sa atin para mabili natin yung mga needs natin after natin mag-work or pag-retired na tayo. So last is the turnover rate. The turnover rate tells you how much trading takes place in fund. Specifically, it measures the percentage of the portfolio holding that has been traded over the year. It refers to the percentage of employees leaving the company within a certain period of time. A low turnover number less than 30% or so, such as one of these fund, denotes the fund with more of buy and hold strategy. A high turnover number of 100% plus indicates a fund manager who shifts things around a lot. So, meaning to say, turnover rate is the rate in which employees leave the organization. And we have two kinds of turnover. Turnover can be voluntarily or initiated by the employee, and involuntarily representing firing, layoff, or expiration of the employment agreement. A company's turnover rate can be an indicator of its culture. So, meaning to say, makikita natin dito yung sa percentage na natin makikita kung gaano ba karami yung nagre-resign, natatanggal, yung mga umaalis ng company natin using the percentage. And the high turnover can be costly of an organization because departing employees frequently needed to be replaced. Siyempre, pag nawalan tayo ng tauhan or ng employee sa isang position, is kailangan natin i-replace siya agad as soon as possible. Lalong-lalo na if yung position niya is kailangan talaga ng company natin para magtuloy-tuloy yung operation or para ba masustain yung work na ginagawa niya together sa organization. So that's all. Again, my name is Kylo Policarpio and that's all my report. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tricia May Princilio, and my report is all about reviewing annual reports and investigating the statement of additional information. Annual reports are comprehensive documents designed to provide readers with information about a company's performance in the preceding year. Annual reports provide a significant amount of information for its readers, who will be able to get a good overview of the company's overall performance in the preceding year. It is important to note that many annual reports are not traditional reports with large amount of text. Many companies often incorporate a large of graphics and image, resulting in a visually appealing document. There are many users of annual reports, including shareholders and potential investors, employees, and customers. The reports contain information such as chairman's letter and performance discussion, investment advisor's thoughts, performance and its components, and lastly, investment holding. Chairman's letter and performance discussion. It is addressed to shareholders and provides a summary of the company's performance in the previous year. CEOs typically spend a lot of time on their letters to highlight the company's achievements as its performance relative to the industry it operates in. The letter would likely mention the information of interest to shareholders since they are the primary readers of the report. Investment advisor's thoughts. It is where the portfolio managers describe how the fund's performance was impacted by the economic climate. Additionally, they address potential outcomes for the future and the investment course of action they want to pursue in the near future. Performance and its components. In this, it represents the past performance of a company, which is not a guarantee of future results that may be achieved by the fund. The annual report and provide its users with quantitative data regarding of the specific aspects of its financial performance in the previous fiscal year. Annual reports typically includes financial statements such as balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements. In addition, there will be often be graphs or charts included, helping break down the financials into easily readable information. Investment holdings. You may learn more information about how your money is invested right here. You can see how well diversified the mutual fund is here. If you invest with this, you could actually own a tiny fraction of each of these securities. Reviewing the individual investment holdings of a fund is crucial. Sometimes a fund's name misrepresents what the fund actually invests in, and the objective portion of a prospectus frequently omits crucial information like the sizes of the companies the fund owns. Investigating the Statement of Additional Information, or SAI. The brokerage fees that a fund pays to buy and sell securities for the fund are not included in the annual operating expense numbers that a fund reports. A statement of additional information is required for mutual funds. Although it is not necessary for funds to give this information to shareholders, they must do so if it is asked. A mutual fund has the chance to go into more detail in the declaration of extra information regarding aspects of the fund that aren't explicitly stated or covered in the prospectus. The SAC specifies information that must be included in the Statement of Additional Information. These topics cover the company's management and portfolio managers in further detail. The fund's financial statements are frequently included in a Statement of Additional Information. Typically, it will contain details about the executives, directors, and other individuals who are in charge of the fund's investing strategy. That would be all. Thank you.